Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Well, what a day. We had quite a few red candles there. Nothing major though. So if we zoom out here a little bit, there's not really anything major has happened here. We've had a bit of a pullback in the, let's say, traditional markets. For example, gold came down. We had the S&P 500 come down, the Nasdaq. Not necessarily unexpected. Actually, it was expected that these markets would see a bit of a pullback, but nothing major in any of these markets. Nothing really surprising or major. Also here on the Bitcoin chart, nothing major. Just one of the more deeper pullbacks, something we haven't seen for a few days or a few weeks. However, we haven't even taken out the previous swing low, so the overall uptrend is still intact. But you see that we're getting more into a topping structure up there. And we see deeper pullbacks, okay? And we want to talk about how this microstructure could now develop. Just for anybody who's new on the channel, tomorrow we are going to take a look at the daily time frame. Again, I do that once a day, not in every video. It's a bit pointless, but once a day we do that, usually in the first video on a day. And then, if you like to, feel free to check out my earlier videos today. In one of them, I covered the daily time frame. If not, you might just want to wait for tomorrow. But overall, I'm tracking two scenarios here. I've made a couple of changes to the last video, adjusted slightly the micro support, and I added in yellow just a suggestion for a corrective subwave structure. But we're going to talk about that. First of all, the idea is that in the white count, which is currently my primary scenario until support levels break, in the primary scenario, we're moving up in the white count here to 55,000 plus. In circle wave 5 after wave 4 bottomed here on the 23rd of January. That's the main thesis at the moment. However, it is possible in an alternative on this time frame that the wave 4 is still unfolding. And that could happen in, I think a few ways. The most obvious one would be that this is a flat structure, a flat correction. Wave 4s usually develop flat corrections, so we shouldn't be surprised. How would that look like? Well, A wave down from the third wave top there. Third wave topped around the 11th of January. Then, so A wave down, then the B wave to the upside, and a C wave down. All right, A, B, C. And even this B wave could get another high, maybe another squiggle higher. And then this C wave down, we can calculate a target for that once we have a confirmation that the B wave has topped. And we only get a confirmation if the market breaks below support. And that's now at 45,900. I've changed that from the previous video, just lowered it by $200. And the reason is I played around with some microstructures here and found a few other ways to count this entire move up. And I want to be covered for each of these scenarios. So what I don't want to do is to tell you support is 46K and then we break down to 45.9 and recover instantly. That would be a bit annoying. So obviously it's carefully defined to incorporate most scenarios that are likely. Obviously, I'm not even showing you all the microstructures that are possible here for counting. I prefer to show you only the most likely pathways. And to be honest, they don't make a great difference, but the levels are obviously what counts. And I don't want to give you a level that's just slightly too high potentially for no reason. So yeah, but that would be micro support. That would be a flat structure. That would be the orange count. But as I said, even in the orange wave count, we could see one more high. And then we would expect in the orange count support to break. It can always break earlier. That is possible, then it's a B wave still, but it would be a WXY structure instead of an ABC pattern. They are slightly different corrective patterns. It doesn't ultimately make a great difference. If you're not interested in that, just watch the support level, okay? And we keep it simple and say that as long as we're holding that $45,900 level, we can keep the idea alive that we go higher and we'll focus on higher prices, but that would be the threshold where, the market basically will change its mood from a short-term bullish to a short-term bearish behavior. But that would still all be part of an overall bullish scenario, okay? So then if we zoom in a little bit, the white count is obviously the one that I follow primarily. And also this one, the only difference between orange and white is that after wave B tops, this could also be a third wave in the white count, we should see one more higher low. And that is the white count. It allows for another extension higher. Now let's take a look at the micro or nano structure here. I already posted about this on Twitter earlier today, the X network. Feel free to follow us here for daily updates and mindset tips and a lot of other content that we don't offer on YouTube. Basically, it's this structure still unchanged. But by the way, just make sure that you only follow our official account, because there are scam accounts, impersonators. We do get them banned regularly. They reappear. You can't really do much about it other than banning constantly. Okay. So the idea is here, I introduced this yellow structure, this yellow wave count here, which is basically the indication how circle wave 4 could be playing out. I did write that if circle wave 4 has started, yeah, and you see here still the 46.1K level, that's why it's so important to stay up to date. I did change that later today. When I make any changes, I'll typically post that on Telegram and Discord for our gold members. Obviously, not everything is posted on Twitter. There's just a few of those that we also update, in public. But most up-to-date content is on Telegram and Discord. But what I posted is that if this circle wave 4 that we also talked about in the previous video, if this has started, yeah, then the small rally we see right now, which is here, the small rally, which I think already is getting a little bit exhausted, could be wave B, yeah, in yellow. I just indicated it in a different color to make sure that, you realize that it's a different structure. And this would be the structure for circle wave 4 if we're already in this wave 4, and then still one more high would be possible in this B wave. And ideal, in this count would be that we go a little higher in this B wave, then come down to round about 46 to 47K, finish off the fourth wave, and then rally once more to maybe round about, 55K in the next step. Okay. Now let's go back to the live chart, and that rally developed a little bit further, and I can still see it as a B wave potentially. Obviously, where we have primary and alternative counts on larger time frames, this applies as well to the smallest time frames. So it just depends on which time frame you're interested in at trading. But here on this time frame, it's possible that circle wave 3 is still unfolding, and it would be an expanding diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like that idea that it's still extending. And the reason is the move up doesn't really look fully complete, to be honest. I'd like to see actually one more high, but then again, I said to you, there are many ways how this move to the upside could be traded. For example, down here, I've got a 1-2-1-2 setup. I mean, maybe there's another 1-2, or I'm counting this as a B wave triangle. There are so many ways how you can count this. It's a very small time frame, and that just has an impact on up here. Okay, do we get another extension, or is this already in? Is the third wave already done? And we're just in a B wave rally. To be honest, it doesn't make a great difference, because in both of these scenarios, we're fairly close to a top now, fairly close to a top. In the yellow count here, we have already topped, and circle wave 3 would be here. And yeah, basically now moving up in the B wave, these can even overshoot to make it even more difficult. But yeah, in the orange count, we get one more extension. I think I would argue you won't really see the difference. Yeah, because in the orange count, orange nano count, also wave 5 would be an ABC because it's an ending diagonal if we get another extension. And the B wave would also be an ABC, and both can overshoot, right? And, therefore you won't really notice a difference, and support is for both at the moment 45.9K. That's really about it, That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.